Hello you guys, Miss Steele here. I'm down here at the bottom and this thing right here is recording what I'm doing with my hands. So this week we are talking about pattern. Pattern is one of my favorite of the principles of design. We've been going through the elements of art. We've talked about shape and line and color and texture. And now we're taking a whole week to talk about pattern. So pattern is anything that repeats itself, whether it's colors, or lines, or shapes, or any sort of design. So that's what we're going to create today. We're going to create our own Keith Haring pattern party. So for this project, you are going to need this drawing that I did of Keith Haring. If you don't have one, because you didn't pick up the papers, you can draw your own, but having this makes things a whole lot easier. So we have this, and we're going to color them and cut them out. I'm also going to put them on this second white paper. I'm going to color it in because we're going to have a pattern here, a pattern there, and a pattern for our background. So we're going to have at least 3 different patterns. You can see I got some marker on my hand. So we have our Keith Haring people, and I have 2 little hats that we're going to cut out and put on them. Our white paper, and this is going to become our background. I have a patterns example sheet. You guys will have your own, so I can look at these if I want some pattern inspiration. As always, you need a pencil and an eraser. Those are pretty basic tools in art. And then you want something to color with. I have crayons and markers, but you can use what you have. And then glue and scissors. So again, something to color with. I'm going to get these out of the way. Glue and scissors, we'll need those in a little bit. Your pattern examples. Pencil and eraser, a white paper, and your Keith Haring people. So I think I'm actually going to start on my background because we're going to cut these people out and put them on here. And so I want this to be my background for them, and I want this to be a pattern. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first start with drawing the floor. So I drew a line at the bottom because this is going to be the floor where they are standing on. And then this is my wall. And you guys can pretty much add whatever you want in your background. If you want to add plants or a couch or windows, whatever you want. I think I'm going to add maybe 1 window in the middle. And they might be covering some of it, but that's okay. So I'm going to add 1 window in the middle. And then I think I'm going to make it to where it looks like it's snowy outside, like it's winter time. So I'm going to draw some snow in the background, maybe some snow falling. Just add little dots for that. So now we have this. So now I want to, of course, add some color to it. And we want a pattern for our background. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do some classic stripes for my background. You could do polka dots, any sort of pattern in the background, but I think I want to do classic stripes. And I think I'm going to use cream and maybe green. I'm going to use cream and green for my background, and I'm going to start adding in my pattern. And I just want to do just stripes. So first I'm going to add in my green stripes, and I'm going to leave some space so I can come back and add in my cream. But that's what I'm going to do for my background. So I'm going to keep adding these in, and then I will be back and we can work on the rest of it. I think I'm going to add in these, I'm going to add in my cream, and then I'm going to color these 2 in, and I'll be back. All right, so I finished my background. I decided to do a wood floor, I added in my window, and I did the stripe pattern in the background. So that's pattern 1. So now since we have our background ready that we're going to put these guys onto, I need to decorate both of these. I want to do a different pattern for each of them, and then I'm going to color in the hats, then I'm going to cut it out and glue it all together. But I am not for sure which pattern I want. I think for one of them, I want to make it look like sprinkles. And then for the other pattern, I haven't decided. I'm looking at these. You can add whatever patterns you want to each of these. You don't have to do the same patterns as me, but if you want to, that's okay too. So I'm going to work on adding patterns to these. And patterns can be a repeating shape or a repeating color. So I think I'm going to use all of my lighter colors to do sprinkles. So I'm going to use these four, so repeating colors, and then I'm going to go through and add in small round lines all over to make it look like sprinkles in each of these colors. So I'm going to use these and add in some lines, and then I will be back. All right, so I finished my first Keith Haring figure, and then I think for this one, I'm going to do like a classic candy cane stripe. I think that's what I want to do. And I'm actually going to get outside of the lines on this, but only because I'm going to cut it out. So it doesn't really matter if you color outside the lines because we're cutting them out. And I'm going to add candy stripe to him. So now we have one pattern, two patterns, and I'm going to color in his hat red to match him. So now I have my two patterns, and what I want to do is get both of these cut out. So I have 1, 2, and then our third pattern on here. So I'm going to get them cut out, and then we'll join back to glue them all together. Well, I guess not join back. For you, it just keeps playing, but for me, I pause it. All right. Okay, so these are cut out, and we are finishing up. So I'm going to get my background. If you guys remember, we did this earlier. I sure hope you do. And now I want to put these on here in my background that I created. So I am using my glue. I am remembering that a dot is a lot. We don't need a ton of glue to get these to stick. I think he's going to look like he's dancing. So then I'm pressing it down, and then I'm going to add his hat on because we got the hat to the side. Maybe like that. So there is the first one glued all down, and now I need to glue down the second. Then we'll be done. Oh, I guess we got to get her hat on her first. So there is that. And now for this hat. Beautiful. Her hat's slipping a little bit, but glue is not magic. You got to hold it for a second. I wish it was magic and it would just immediately stick. But unfortunately not. Making for sure all my edges are nice and flat. And that is it, you guys. That is kind of like a Keith Haring pattern party, truly. We have our three patterns, 1, 2, 3 in the background. I'm excited to see how your guys' work come out. Be sure to post a picture of it to the media album so I can see it. And I will see you guys all next time. Have a wonderful rest of your morning, your evening, afternoon. Goodbye.